The backdrop of Thurrock Castle set the stage for the battle to come. Verric Uros sat atop his chestnut destrier, his old and faithful companion. Verric whipped the horse round to face his men. The steely expression of his loyal host made him swell with pride. They had drilled for this. They had prepared for this. And he had left his new home of Ashmark certain that they were ready. Yet there's something about combat that cannot be simulated. The reality of 5,000 men preparing to engage in a deadly game was something that no amount of training can capture. Verric was a veteran of several battles, but the men before him were as green as the grass beneath their boots. "You have all prepared for this," he shouted, a roar of courage from his throat. His men beat their steel shields and stomped the earth beneath their feet. "Blood is crimson. Yet, what color is glory? What color is honor? Today, you will know." The men were growing wild. The climax of sound became a fit of restless energy. Verric turned his horse again to face the army before them, and brought his sword forward with another shout. All at once, he was thrust forward by his stallion. The sound of 3,000 warriors rose to follow him. The lines crashed with earth-splitting force. Horses screamed and bodies flew through the air. The sound was so intense it could be heard in the castle town 5 miles away. Verric could hear nothing, though. The blood pounded in his ears, blocking all noise outside of his great helm. He hacked and slashed at the men around his knees, boldly leading the front line of his men. Without warning, his destrier gave way beneath him, and he landed hard on the dirt below. A sharp pain rose up his knee, and he lost his sword and his helm as he hit the ground. He could feel his horse writhing to get up, but when he saw the throwing axe stuck in the side of her neck, he knew she would never leave the spot where she lay. The axe head was bronze, and he recognized it immediately as the work of the first men. The battle had moved from where he had landed, and he heard a manic laugh as he struggled to free himself from the weight of the warhorse. From the dust emerged a figure in glimmering bronze armor. 2 throwing axes hung loosely from each hand as the warrior slowly advanced upon Verric. Verric had freed himself at last and leapt to his feet, the dull throbbing in his leg erased by the bloodlust pumping through his veins. He looked among the dirt for his sword, but found the blade pinned to the dirt by the warrior's bronze-studded boot. The man spoke violently in a language Verric could not completely comprehend, but he knew what was about to happen. The warrior was quick, and he began to fling the axes wildly at Verric, slashing and spinning with his arms fully extended. Verric was quicker. He dodged under one blow and rolled to dodge the next. He was further away from his sword than he had been, but his foot caught something hard as he recovered his balance. His hand groped for the object, and his fingers closed around the visor of his great helm. Bringing the heavy metal with him, he launched himself at the bronze warrior. "Father, give me strength and guide my hands," he prayed as he made contact with the man's neck. The force behind the blow rattled his arm to the shoulder, but the vibrations unleashed something within him. It was a rush of energy he had never experienced before. He brought his arm back and struck out with the helm again and again and again. The blows caught the warrior in the neck, the shoulder, and finally in the head. The warrior crumpled to the ground, blood issuing from beneath his helm. Verric roared as he threw his own great helm and leapt onto the warrior. He reared back his fist to deliver a fury of strikes, but he heard the voice inside the helm quivering with fear and begging for mercy. Verric paused, his lip quivering in the final moments of his fury before he remembered the mother's mercy. "By the 7, he whispered as he lifted himself up off the man. "By the 7. What's up, Bear Pack? Welcome back to another episode here in the Knights of Andalos series. I'm so excited to bring you this episode. I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very, very much for the outpouring of just support and views and likes and comments on episode 1 of season 1 of this amazing series that we've just gotten underway in less than a week. Let that sink in. Less than 7 days. A video on this channel got 2,000 views. That's just astronomical. Over 100 likes, 75 comments. Just an insane amount of support. And it's all thanks to you. Thank you so much. Just an amazing time. An amazing part of this series. And I hope it continues to climb and it continues to build. And if you're new to this series and to this channel, welcome. We're so happy to have you. I'm so excited to be here with you guys, bringing you this episode. Here we are in Ashmark, playing as Verric Uros. And the reason I bring that up, the reason I start today with that phrase, is because in the description of this video, go ahead and check it out. In the description of this video, you will see a save file. That's right, a save file of this very scenario. Now, bear in mind, you need to have the latest mod, the latest version of the mod, and the latest version of the Andal Invasion submod. I don't use any other submods. I use all the DLC, but those aren't necessary to run this. So you can join along and you can play with me in this scenario, in this thing. And what we're going to have going is, beginning after this episode is released, we're going to have a section on the Discord server where you can release after action reports. That's right, you can take what happened in your play and in your time playing on the save file, turn it into a story, and let us all know exactly what happened so we can follow the journey along with you. And who knows, it might be way more interesting than what ends up happening to me. But all that said, I'm excited to bring you this episode. I'm excited to bring you this series, and I'm excited to bring you along with me as we venture into this Andal invasion scenario. So we are in Andal. We are a Faith of the Seven Knight with our court all in order, our council all fitted, ready to go. I cut some stuff out of the last episode because it kind of got long, it kind of got lengthy. I talked a lot, and so I didn't really get time for much action. But we managed to get brave, and what I did was I tested out the scenario where I forced conversion of this guy, who now hates me, because we fought in a duel after he refused. He refused to step down. Now I want to see, because I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure exactly what would happen. It will increase my tyranny if I do that. I can revoke for prestige. I can revoke his title, and he would do it. The only reason I bring that up is because he's an old god first man. I also need to check and look, because what I really want to do is I want to get to the point where this guy, old god first man, you know, he's here we go. Demand religious conversion, and let's see if we can do that. I don't know why that says that. That's backwards. I will demand that priest Gaston of Ashmark convert to the Faith of the Seven. So we're going to do that. Let's see exactly what happens, because I do want to know. I will of course obey your will and convert to Faith of the Seven. Henceforth consider me a true believer and faithful bannerman. So there we go. I lose 50 prestige for some reason, and I gain 25 piety. So it's almost like a tit-for-tat exchange. So he is Faith of the Seven. That actually brings his opinion up way higher. He has this negative demanded conversion opinion modifier for 5 years, which is good to know. And so I won't have to revoke his title. But we're going to do that for every person here. And the only reason I bring that up is because I want to see exactly what's going to happen when they refuse, if I can imprison them. Because that should be, in my opinion, there we go. Here's a good example for us to follow. My lord, I utterly refuse this outrageous demand. I will not abandon the old gods in favor of some false gods. Signed, Master Lister. Okay, so he will regret this. Now, I need to see if I can imprison him. I'll still get tyranny. I can revoke his title. He will obey, but it'll lower all of my vassals' opinions by 15, and I'll lose 100 prestige. So I'm asking your opinion because this is a mechanic that we're going to use a lot going forward. If they refuse, how would you like me to respond? Would you like me to revoke their title, or would you like me to imprison and put them on trial? I feel like both of those are equally good options. And so let's take a look and see what you think. Leave a comment down below and let me know. I'd be happy to understand and see what the consensus is. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards just revoking the title. You won't accept? Fine. We'll take away the title. I feel like Verric, being the ruthless ruler he is, though, would probably shoot for imprisonment and maybe even death penalty, something like that. The only problem is that increases tyranny. That's the only issue. And so I need to see what you all feel about that. I feel like that should be added into the mechanic just as a baseline, honestly. I really do. But I'll leave it up to you to decide exactly how you want to handle that. So I digress. This is where we stand, and we have a lot that we have to get into today. So let's see if we can get all of our ducks in a row and get something done today. This is freaking hilarious. So I thought that this province was connected to Thurrock, which is down here. Because if you look at it from right here, doesn't that look like it says Thurrock? I mean, look at look at it. But it's not. It's Thurrock. It scared the crap out of me for a second there because this is where we have to expand to. But I digress. Invasion of Thurrock. Let's begin. This guy doesn't stand a chance, I don't think, anyways. There shouldn't be any reason why this guy can stand a chance. So we're going to combine our forces. Just makes the most sense for us to do. We do have... Let's see, we only have one commander slot. Is that the truth here? Oh, I know what it is. These guys are currently... I see. Our other commanders are currently leading, are currently part of our main council and are unable to lead armies. By the looks of it, they're currently assigned to jobs. I see. So he shouldn't be. Okay, so I just recalled him. I'm recalling Edric Delmar. So that's what I'll do. I'll let Dick and Langhorn stay in Ashmark to get everything running, and instead I will exchange Dickon over here. Let's see. Why can't I put? I can't put my Master of Arms there. That's crazy. Yeah, I can't put my Master. That's crazy. But he should automatically be able to lead armies. Am I correct? He is. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we're going to have Edric on the right flank and Lionel on the left. So that is perfect. Everything looks relatively balanced. Nope, everybody's kind of under Edric. So let's go ahead and put these armies over here, I think. Let's put one more there. One more there. So we have Edric will lead the main bulk of our force on the flank. I will lead in the center with another main force, and we'll have Lionel lead on the side with mostly heavy infantry and a little bit of cavalry to kind of take command over here. Yeah, and to kind of occupy this left-hand flank. It'll kind of be our little mystery flank. We'll see what happens there. But we will march on Thurrock. They have not raised up their levies yet. I'm sure that's coming, potentially. It is. Okay, so we should have a fairly easy go of this battle. Let's just take a look. They only have 2 commanders and only 77 troops in this right-hand flank. So even on the first day, just on the first day, Lionel has already forced retreat of this what is our left-hand flank. And so we're all focusing right here in the center. Edric's attacking from the right, Lionel attacking from the left, and we are currently still all in our harassment phase. Actually, Lionel's already in a shield wall formation. That's good. So they respond with impressive harassment, but so do we, and we have 2 against 1. We are currently in the mountains, so they do have a slight advantage in terms of location. Yeah, they have a terrain advantage. Okay, so here's something that I did, and this is part of the game rules. Okay, part of the game rules is I have increased the number of battlefield duels. They now appear much more frequently, and I think that this is particularly important for this scenario, because the Andal invaders, and particularly these knights, are formidable fighters. They come and they're bringing this Faith of the Seven. They're bringing the Andal culture to the First Men, and you have stories like Artis Aaron landing over in the Vale and attacking and leading his men almost directly. I mean, you have the battle with the ancient House of Royce, and you have this kind of bait and switch, you know, where somebody else is wearing Artis's armor, but mostly you have this direct leadership from these great characters, and so this is kind of made to emulate that. So here we go. You were separated from your men in the chaos of battle, and now find yourself in the midst of war. As you scan the field and try to rejoin your forces, you see Lyman break through the enemy ranks and charge you. Lyman is the commander of Thurrock, with a duel skill estimate of 2. I'm sure he's going to flee. I'm almost positive, but he begins to charge at us. We are going to stand and fight ourselves. You and Lyman slowly circle each other, tense and focused. You scan him for any sign of weakness, any opening in his defense that you could possibly exploit. So, one mistake is all he'll get. My faith in the gods gives me strength. My will is strong, and the gods protect me. So, I'm going to go with my faith in the gods will give me strength. That is Verric Uros to a T. We attack with force. You see a weak spot, a vulnerability in Lyman's defense. It's not much, but it's all you need. Strike. You easily break through Lyman's guard and knock him to the ground. He lies sprawled at your feet, completely at your mercy. It's all over now. Lyman drops his weapon and throws up his hands. Yield. I yield, so I can accept and he becomes my prisoner, or I can slay him. I think what we'll do, because we are ruthless, we're going to, let's see. There is a part of the mechanic for demand religious conversion where you can do it to your prisoners, and so I think we'll take him prisoner, because I want to see what happens there. At least for this first one. I accept. Back on your feet. The fight is over. Lyman lies defeated. You have won. So we're going to give him the chance to convert. I think that's Verric's MO. We're going to give him the chance to convert. If he refuses, he's dead. Okay. Victory is mine. So he is now imprisoned. And let's go back to looking at this battle really quick, because there's really not a ton there. There's a pursuit tactic going on over here with this flank. There's only 77 men remaining. The morale is really plummeting here. Your ability to take down any man in a brawl is widely renowned. Many speak of your prowess, and how it would be unwise to pick a fight with you. It feels good to be recognized. So we gain back 50 prestige. That's good. We can kind of stockpile for our next attempt at religious conversion. We're going to win this battle very, very easily. That's good. That's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually, because their garrison is only 688, I'm going to split this unit in half. And I'm going to send Edric Delmar and Lionel Redhorn after this contingency unit that just lost. So they're actually going to Ashmark right now. And I'm going to stay here with Verric as the main force to begin the siege of Thurrock. And in the meantime, I feel like it's important for us to potentially go in and demand religious conversion of this Lyman character. Are we able to do that? Maybe not, because I am currently in war. So we'll wait till peace, I suppose. Yes, we will wait till peace. When I saw the sizes of the armies that were coming to attack us, I decided it was in our best interest to return this contingency back, and this army back into where we're going. So we have large armies surrounding us. We have a couple of them trying to siege down Ashmark. Probably not going to work, not going to happen. But once they combine forces and outnumber us significantly, they'll begin the process of trying to attack us. So it makes the most sense for us to go ahead and assault the holding as much as possible. I hate doing this unless you significantly outnumber the guys that you're trying to siege down, but we don't have time. Unfortunately, we don't have time. And we could put a pretty big dent in their morale if we do this way. I think once this 2,300 strong army arrives on the 27th in Ashmark, they're going to begin to march this way. So we don't really have time to hesitate. We have to go ahead and assault. Like I said, not super excited about it, but they only have a few men. We outnumber them. I'm hoping we can get it done. We shouldn't lose too many men. It's the morale that's really the big deal. I think we could potentially stand against an army this size, but they're just going to keep coming. And it makes the most sense for us to siege down this castle, I believe. So we're going to do that. We're going to siege the castle by force. Oh, we did it. I can't believe we did that. We lost a significant number of men, but we did it. Wow. So the siege of Thurrock was successful. So he is not here. He's currently leading that army that we defeated earlier. But we've taken Thurrock, and let's put his family and put them in the dungeon. And let's offer peace and enforce demands. We've done it. We took Thurrock, surprisingly, shockingly. And I think these armies are still hostile against us, but that's okay. We're actually in good shape now. We hold a lot of the cards here. So let's disband our... no, I'm sorry. Let's not disband our unit. Which ones are the event troops? These guys. So let's actually form a new unit of just those guys. Where are they? Here we go. Those are all of our event troops. These guys can be disbanded, I think, right? They should anyways. Do we have event troops in here? This is the thing that... this is the part that's most confusing. So... these should be our event troops, correct? And these should not? Nope. What about these? Okay, so due to enemy presence in our homeland, they won't be able to return home. Okay. So we'll march down here, I suppose. Let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. That fixed it. Just wait a day, right? Just be patient. Just be patient. So these guys can return home. And so we still have 1,100 of our event troops that we're in a station in Ashmark as kind of our little safety net here. But we managed to take Thurrock. Had a battlefield duel. Everything is good there. So recently conquered exists for a year. New administration exists for, wow, 11 years? Wow. So really, in order for us to really use Thurrock, we have to wait. Which is okay. There's a city of small place here that I want to take a look at. Wendell. Doesn't like us too much, but we can demand his religious conversion, can't we? I believe we can. And we should resign and have Lionel resign as well. Yep. That should be good. Okay, where is Edric Delmar? He's leading troops in Ashmark. Oh, he can't resign. Why can't he resign? I wonder if I can just assign him, and if he'll... Aha, there we go. That fixed it. Sometimes I surprise myself with how smart I am. It's not very often, but sometimes it happens. So 6 months is typically the deployment time for these guys in their jobs. So let's have Edric organize the army and Lionel scheme. And that'll be just fine. My demence is currently too big. And so I have the demence size shrunk down to like a quarter of what you're normally able to do, which is typically 1. So it affects taxation, troop recruitment, and resentment among our vassals. So currently we don't have any vassals, so we don't really have to worry about that. But it's important for us to make sure that we take care of those things. I know I need to give this castle to one of the court. I'm not sure that I want to do that yet. I'm gonna hesitate just a little bit on that. We're not gonna advance too much further in this episode, but that gives me time to kind of meditate on those things. That's super important. So we can actually ask for help managing our titles if we want, which I don't want to. Not that I distrust Dickon, but if I'm gonna make the decision, I'm gonna do it myself. And we can hold attorney if we want, but we're not gonna do that right now. Currently, we're doing okay. I'm actually pretty excited about how well that worked. We lost some men in the process, but that wasn't that big of a deal, to be honest with you. And really, if we wanted to invest in some of our money in some of these things going forward, we could actually have more troops. Let's see. We could increase the fort level of Ashmark. We can get some light infantry and tax income from private farms. Tax income from Castletown. Cavalry from stables. Heavy infantry and pikemen from barracks, level 1. Light infantry and archers from militia training ground. Or we can get garrison size and heavy infantry from patrol posts, which I think that's probably the most bang for your buck, other than the Castletown giving you more tax income. It's kind of steep price-wise right now, but I think that'll be okay. I think it's important for us to focus these things. You know what I mean? Like that's a little over a year, and we have a year anyways before we can raise up the Thurrock, the levies there. And we can afford to take things a little bit on the slow side. So let's do that. Let's build patrol posts first. And now let's actually deploy our council appropriately if we can. Let's have our treasurer sit in Ashmark to actually improve the time that it'll take. March 1st, which is good because that's actually before we're able to do anything with Thurrock, just before. So that's perfect. In command's no longer affecting us. And there's the coalition to stop all of these counties that joined that little coalition. That's funny. Now we do have the prisoner, and this is kind of the interesting thing because I thought there would be a chance. There's not. Moira is nothing, basically. Elise is Luke's husband, or Luke's wife. Luke of Thurrock is he in our court? He's actually... Okay. So I wonder if we can... Ransom prisoner? Won't pay. 10 gold. We can actually enslave her? Really? Is that actually what can happen there? And there's no chance for religious conversion. That's so weird. And then his mother. who is a fellow theologian and a Grey Eminence. Okay, so we're going to leave them in prison for a little bit while I figure out what the best course of action is for them. Well, Bearpack, that about does it for today's episode. I'm super excited about all of this. We now have 2 counties to our name. The Andal invasion has begun. We have taken by force Thurrock from the clutches of the First Men and the Old Gods. And we have begun to expand our territory. I'm so excited about this. So that about does it for today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, please be sure to do that. Hit the little bell icon so you get notifications of when we upload. It is so amazing to be involved with this. I'm so thankful for you guys. You guys have done amazing. Also, check out the Q&A tonight on the Discord server. If you've never been a part of that, it's a ton of fun. Be sure you do that. And yeah, I've had so much fun doing this. You guys are amazing, and I will see you on the next adventure.